Photo Friday. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this series, but I'm probably gonna call it The idea is that I take a photo or a series of photos that I've shot in the past and explain the story behind the photo or the editing techniques, or pull in a friend so that we can discuss something that's unique about that photo. Today, I'm gonna talk about a photo that I shot in October, but to get to that photo, we need a little bit of backstory. Fear of missing out. FOMO. FOMO is something that I struggle with as an introvert. On the inside, I'd rather stay home and do nothing and relax. But in reality, if you ask me to go skiing or skating, hiking, or on an adventure, it's very hard for me to say no, not only because I want to have that experience, but because I see it as a photo taking opportunity. Last October, I decided to take a trip to Vancouver. I have family on both sides of my family that live in Vancouver, as well as some friends that are staying in Vancouver, and even some friends that have wanted to take trips to Vancouver. So when I was deciding whether or not to go to Vancouver, it was very hard for me to decide who I wanted to see, because I kind of felt like if I didn't see one group of people, I was missing out on an experience, and if I saw another group of people, I'd be missing out on a different type of experience. Needless to say, I ended up going on a hike with my mom's cousin, Tim. This is a photo of Tim and I hiking Garibaldi Provincial Park, or more specifically, this is Garibaldi Lake. Now we're at the base of the lake, and to get to this point, we had actually hiked about 3.5 hours or 12 kilometers because we took a little bit of a scenic route. And right as we got to this point, we stopped and we had a little bit of lunch. Now, it's unfortunate because normally on a clear day where there's not clouds, the lake looks completely blue and it is just absolutely beautiful. After lunch, we took a little bit of a walk around the lake just to try and get some better views, but because the clouds were so thick and it was an overcast day and it was just downpouring, like we were totally soaked after this. You can see that I'm really not getting too much color out of the lake here. Ultimately, we decided to head back, and right at the bend of where you go hiking and where the lake is, there's this little waterfall and a bridge. And so I decided to stop and take a little bit of a time lapse, which is this that you're seeing here. So I actually compiled this into about 300 photos of a time lapse. And it's cool because it's got, hikers going around and you can see some of the clouds rolling. And so as I'm standing on this little bridge, this little pathway between the left half of the photo and the right half of the photo, I hear some hikers coming out of the woods, and all of a sudden I hear, "Anthony!" And I look over to the left, and my friends from Ontario, so I'm in BC, and my friends from Ontario, Kelly and Vivian, are standing on the left bank, and I'm just like, wait, why are they here? Like, we didn't plan this. I've gone hiking and done adventures and camping with both Kelly and Vivian in the past. I actually have a video on my channel of Kelly's last birthday where we went to an island and we were camping and it rained and we got the whole island got flooded. The ending of the story is pretty crazy. In this case, I see Kelly, I'm with my mom's cousin, Tim. We start chatting, we end up taking some pictures, and Tim goes, "Hey, well, if you want to hike with them, like that's perfectly fine." Tim kind of takes off because he's used to the area, and so for him, hiking alone is not a big deal. I hang back, I take some photos with Kelly and Vivian, and we reach this point where there's this lookout and you can see the trees and the mountains and the rolling clouds. I actually did another time lapse here just because it was so cool. The awesome thing about taking photos in Vancouver where the clouds are coming in is you get this misty, hazy forest look, especially when you're deep in the woods. And just because of the time of day that it just ended up looking so epic. We got to this point, I'm taking these landscape photos, and Kelly and Vivian are behind me, and I turn around and Vivian is looking up with her cell phone, taking basically the same picture that I'm taking. And if you know me, I'm a very candid photographer. And so I snap this photo of Vivian in the middle of the trail. She's completely soaked because it's raining and we've just been wet from all the clouds. And with the lighting coming through the forest and the clouds and everything, this photo was honestly just so magical. It's probably one of my most favorite photos from last year, just because of how well the lighting turned out and the fact that she's got her yellow jacket on, you've got the green forest, and there's just this light that's hazing through the tops of the trees. Now, the way I edited this is just to add that little bit of extra contrast, just to really bring out the atmosphere of what it felt like to be in that forest at that time. Now, for me, this may not be the best photo ever. I think compositionally it's good, you know, maybe if the pose was slightly different, but again, it's a candid photo, and the fact that I didn't have to make up this moment. This was just something that happened. Added onto this, the fact that this was a completely unexpected encounter with friends really just makes it all that much more special. I will never forget this moment, not only because I have the pictures, but because of all the conversations and the good times on the trail that this represents. A lot of the time we can get carried away with just posting photos on Instagram and not really diving deep into either the meaning of the photo or maybe something special that happened to get that photo. Maybe the weather was crazy and you had to get up early in the morning to get to your special photo spot, or maybe you had to use a completely new photo technique that you've never used before. So regardless of what you or what other people think of your photos, every photo has a story, every photo has a meaning, and in one way or another, it's going to be special to you and the people that you were with when you took that photo. Anyways, that's it for this Photo Friday. Like I said, I'm gonna make this a series going forward, whether I do just talk about the story behind the photo or show like a speed run edit of that photo, or maybe a technique, or even maybe bring in some people who were part of the photo that I shot. I think that would really be fun. If that's something you want to see, go ahead, leave a comment or hit the like button. That lets me know that you like this video and tells YouTube that you thought this video was worth watching. And until next time, take care.